gentlemen, welcome as we are live for tonight's NASCAR 07 Nextel Cup Series content. As of course we are racing as Dave Blaney trying to get him his first career, not only championship, but first career chase appearance here in this season. We are the second race of the year at the California Speedway, our first of 4 50% races on the season. So this one's pretty short compared to most Cup Series races. 125 laps, 250 miles is their scheduled distance, and the Auto Club 250 at the California Speedway, or of course more recently known as the Auto Club Speedway, that traditional 2-mile oval. As far as this one goes here today, we will be starting in the 25th place position. I didn't see where I was on practice lap times. I wish I would have. Definitely was quicker in qualifying than what it was in the race. Made a slight, or in practice, excuse me, made a slight adjustment to try to put some wedge into it. I felt like I was a little bit, I should say I took wedge out of it from practice into qualifying. I put that wedge back into it just because I felt it was a little too loose. I was able to hold on for 2 laps. That's all I needed for qualifying. I don't think I can hold on for a full, however many laps are going to happen, a full tire stint. So, yeah, we'll see how this is going to end up going. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. I will get into the Austin Dillon stuff. I know a bunch of people are going to be asking me that all the way throughout the course of the stream, so I'll wait for more people to tune in before I give my opinions on the fallout from that incident that we just really learned of just a couple hours ago. Ryan Newman's going to be on the pole in this one. Green flag is going to be in the air. We're racing at the California Speedway. And not a good initial start here for Dave Blaney. Just getting ran by. Went up the hill into turns 1 and 2 as well. Blaney trying to find himself back in line. 7 positions lost already in turns 1 and 2 alone. And kind of like Daytona, the draft's going to be the great equalizer, I think, here, at least down the straightaways. Little contact with Jeff Green in the 66. I didn't really have to deal with any traffic at all in practice, so that I'm a little bit scared about for this race. A lot of 3 and 4 wide racing going on. It might be even tighter in heavy traffic, to be completely honest. Look at all the fanning out down this back straightaway. I would not be shocked if there were cars 4 wide in there. It looks like there are. Hard to tell for sure. Wow, that hole really opened up on the bottom lane for Blaney. Get by the drivers that we know were faster than. Jeff Gordon in the 24 is probably faster than us, I would assume. Blaney slides up the racetrack just a little bit. It's kind of like Daytona where the car just feels really tight. Blaney making a move under Robbie Gordon. And now underneath Bobby Labonte. Forgot I got some rivals from that big one on the final lap of the Daytona 500. I'd assume Bobby Labonte's one of them. No, this isn't the Mark Martin Revenge Tour season. That season's done. Weren't you just watching the Daytona 500 the other night? Could have swore you were in that stream. Monday we started this season. We already got to our laps led record. Oh boy. The 44 car trying to hit Dave Blaney. Probably going to try to hit us again. There's a car going up the middle groove right now, so that's going to keep that from happening. I'm all right with driving into 13th place, though. Got this fantasy driver right in front of Dave Blaney. This could definitely be a pass for position as well. Blaney looking to make the move. 3 wide inside the top 10. Kurt Busch, Kevin Harvick, and it looks like Kyle Busch down to the bottom of them. Another fantasy driver in this 198 that Blaney's trying to hang on in the draft with. Yeah, I saw J.J. McCarthy's out for the year. I actually read yesterday about his knee injury that they were likely looking at it being season-ending because he had a tear in his meniscus, but they weren't sure if he was going to have to get surgery or not. If it was going to be non-surgical, then there was a chance he could have returned later in the season, but clearly went with the surgery, so best wishes are to him. Of course, me being a University of Michigan guy, hate to see that. Hate to see that for anybody, obviously, but Landy's having a hard time trying to catch up to these top 10 or so cars up in front of us. I'm going to assume this is going to be a 2 pit stop race today. I feel like we can make this on 2 stops. With the fuel window being accelerated, we're definitely not going to be able to go 50 laps per fuel run, because that would typically be about the fuel mileage race here, but with everything cut in half, I really don't know. Well, with the race itself, I should say, being cut in half, I really don't know where we're looking at for fuel purposes. Got through that initial start pretty well, though. I'll give myself that. It was hectic. A lot of 3 and 4 wide action going on. In front, behind us. Dale Jr. out in front of the field now. Mayfield looking to make a pass on the 119. Blaney wanted to go 3 wide, but couldn't carry enough momentum off the exit of turn 4 to make that move. Oh boy. Contact with that 198. Pass made for 11th. Got to be careful with that. Tony Raines leads at California. Look at him go. In the early laps. Blaney giving up a lot of bottom. I did that intentionally. I saw the 198 stick his nose in there with a very late dive getting into the corner. A body check, but Blaney looking to stay in front of him. Trying to get the car pinned down to the bottom. It's just so tight. And he dropped it with Mayfield on the back straightaway. Dave pulls down to the bottom of the track, looking to make a pass for 10th, but not going to be able to do so there. Jimmy Johnson now into the lead at his home track. Johnson won a fuel mileage race here on our last season in the Mark Martin Revenge Tour season. And he couldn't make that pass. I think we're definitely going to have to go out on strategy if we're going to win this race. It doesn't seem like we have a race-winning car. I wasn't expecting that. Intermediate tracks the rest of the season, I'd be shocked if we win one, to be completely honest. I think our best opportunities are these 50% races, so the 4 of them we have, we've got to take advantage of it. I feel like that's where the most we can do with pit strategy. I mean, it might be pretty standard, though, too. It might be just a simple 2-stop race. But we know the race itself isn't as long. The runs aren't as long, so we can maybe afford to try to, you know, do more 2-tire stops in this situation, see if it works for us. I'm not opposed to it. Nice pass for 10th, though, by Blaney on Mayfield, just kind of slowly working himself forward. I did not see the blowout game, no. We got the Biff, Greg Biffle, right in front of us. When the car turns and it doesn't get extremely tight, it does turn pretty well in the middle of the corner. And those left sides pinned down on the apron just a bit there. Blaney trying to complete the pass on Greg Biff. Excuse me. Greg Biffle. Sorry to cough into the mic. That snuck up on me. I didn't blow your eardrums out. I don't know where that came from. I mean, I know I'm a Packers fan, but you still don't want to see guys get injured. I don't wish knee surgery upon anybody. I'm not a psychopath. Yeah, if you're wearing headphones, I deeply apologize for that cough mid-sentence. Biffle tried to get the crossover move on Blaney, but the draft behind Truex kept Blaney's straightaway speed up. Here in Michigan, even Pocono for that matter, it's where the draft could really come in handy. Down these long straightaways. The speed here by Dave Blaney, 200 miles an hour into turn one. Trying to find a way underneath Martin Truex Jr. There's no way around there. That didn't help. Blaney down low underneath Truex. Just enough room. Through 3 and 4, pass made cleanly. All 43 cars appear to be in the race still. Big run by Dave Blaney. Contact a little bit there with Kyle Busch into the first turn. It could have been a little treacherous. More than it already looked. But moves are being made. Smelly Packers, is that like spoiled cheese? The spoiled cheeseheads? The aged but not sealed properly cheeseheads? Busch so close to clearing Dave. Dave sailed it off in there. Now he's clear for 6th. Is that Michael Waltrip up in the top 3 too? No, it's Jimmy Johnson. Never mind. I saw the back bumper. I thought it was Michael Waltrip. Oh boy, I might give this spot up. I completely overdrove the entry to 3. Here comes Busch to the inside. Clog toilets in their sleep. How does that happen? All that hard work to get by Kyle Busch for 6, and Blaney gave it right back up. Blaney underneath Busch again. We are at lap 20. Only have to go 42, 42, and 43 laps a run. Oh boy, a lot of contact between Dave Blaney and Kyle Busch. Busch was looking to side draft that right rear quarter panel. Dave Blaney. Blaney got a little tight yet again. Now a couple spots given up by the 22. Kurt gets by both of them, and Kyle obviously gets back by the 22 as well. All right, halfway out of gas. So, oh boy, this is going to be... I mean, we're going to have to make this a 3-stop race, it looks like. I thought there was a chance we could make it on 2, but it looks like it's going to be a 3-stopper. Which means if we get a caution at any point in this race, we're pitting. I don't care when it happens. We could pit under green, get a caution the next lap. I'm still pitting. I'm topping off. That's where the strategy could come into play. Hate to give up track position, but you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. I mean, I'm glad I have a top 10 car. I'll tell myself that. Definitely don't have a race winning car. I don't know that we even have a top 5 car, but we've got a top 10 car. I can't do what I did in the Daytona 500, and that's wreck it. Now, it's the Daytona 500. I was going for the win there. I'm not upset with the move I made. You know, with the high risk versus high high risk versus, you know, potential high reward. Obviously, we didn't get that high reward, but moving forward here, Tony Raines, as this run's going longer, has lost a lot of time to the top 4. And he's starting to shuffle back. Both the Busch brothers getting by him. This could be a car that we're just better than later in the run as well. Greg Biffle blocks the 22. Blaney gets to the outside of the 16. Big block by Biffle. Blaney does get an upturn in the center of the corner, though, and does make the clean pass on Biffle for 8th. I didn't think I was going to get it to cut that late in the corner, but we did. Now Blaney's got to block Biffle. Oh boy. Contact with Tony Raines. That's going to stall out the 22 off the exit of the corner. And here comes Biffle right back. A little bit of a mistake. A little bit of contact, and we gave that spot right back up again. Biffle clears Tony Raines and Dave Blaney that lap. Let's get back up to 6th. Try to draft by Raines for 8th at least. Well, Elliott Sadler's nowhere in contention for the race lead or race win, excuse me, not even in the top 10 right now, so very high probability we're going to get a new winner in just the second race of the season. Oh man, way too much of the apron, way too much, way too much. Gosh darn it. A lot of spots lost for Dave Blaney. I was just sliding in the grass. I couldn't get the car to turn right. I was scared to get it to turn right, though, honestly. I was kind of letting it turn down to the left because I felt like I was going to potentially overcorrect it. Well, that stinks. Right back to 12th place again. Alternate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race. Blaney with a run to the inside of Labonte for 11th. I was getting away with being able to kind of hook the left sides on the apron through 3 and 4 early in the run. Clearly, in the second half of the field run, I can't do that. I thought I was headed for pit road at like 100 plus miles an hour there for a second. That would not have been good. Should be able to complete the pass on Labonte. And that is exactly it. So clear for 11th and 9th and 10th right up here. Childers planning to appeal the penalty, I would assume. I mean, you might as well at that point when your playoffs are on the line. I don't think they'll win it, but could you imagine if, like, all this, like, positive feedback it seems like NASCAR is getting for making this call just to, like, have Richard Childress get the appeal anyway. Well, I guess it's not really a NASCAR's decision, though. It's like a... Isn't it like a third party that does the ruling for the appeals process? So I guess you never know. I mean, there's been appeals that have been overturned in recent years that have been overturned. They probably shouldn't have been. Bobby Labonte right back to the inside of Dave Blaney, and there's nothing Blaney can do to try to hold him back. Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, who qualified even worse than us, are slowly working themselves forward also. Car does feel like it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter as the run goes. I can't do anything to loosen it up, though. Because if I move the wedge back to where it was in qualifying, I know I'm not going to make it the full run. Like, this at least secures me to make it the full run. We just got to take what we can get. I know I'm not going to be race-winning equipment. We got to finish races and get as many, good finishes as we possibly can all season. I didn't take advantage of that at Daytona, but try to take advantage of it here. Big run through the middle of the corner that time. The side-by-side traffic ahead of the 22. A nice draft off of Truex. Big moment shoving up the racetrack. Luckily clear of the 19 of Jeremy Mayfield. Labonte now to the inside of Truex, and a big run by Dave Blaney. He's just going to follow the 43. Little bump draft down the back straightaway here at Fontana. Lift way early into the corner, knowing that they're carrying that extra speed. Cleared Truex, and now up to 10th. Now we sit in line and we draft behind Bobby Labonte again. And hope we can kind of pull away from this group of cars. We're only 4.7 seconds off the lead. The car's handling well right now. Do I go right sides only just to try to risk something here? It's a short race. It's tempting. Worst comes to worst, we short pit the next run if it starts to get even remotely sketchy. We can afford to do that knowing it's a 3-stop race and we haven't pit yet. The chance we're going to get back by Labonte for 9th again. Not quite clear off turn 2. Yep, never mind. We are clear. Haven't noticed anybody hit pit road yet. Worst thing that could happen is we end up... we're not going to be able to save 5 laps a run, so that's just not going to happen. But the worst thing that could happen here is... obviously we're short, and then everybody else can make it. Then we're having to hope and pray for a caution at some point in the race anyway. Well, we've got cars pitting right now, so... it's not entirely possible. Cars are on pit road here at the California Speedway, and pretty early too. Lap 35 coming to lap 36. So Blaney was in 9th at the time of the caution, which if you would have told me we were going to be 9th at the end of the first fuel run under green flag conditions, we started 25th, I would have taken it, honestly. We get nobody around us. It's tough because I'm faster than Labani. I'm pulling him, but without a draft, I can't get up here. But he's also too slow for me to draft behind. We weren't really getting any ground out of it. Watch the lead lap cars, of course, coming out of the pits here. Caution came out in the middle of green flag stops. That would be awesome for Dave Blaney. More leaders pitting. We got a couple cars side by side coming to pit road. Both the Busch brothers, Kurt and Kyle Busch, were side by side into the pits. I'm 38. Newman's still out on the track. I'd like to get 5 bonus points if possible. There's only 2 more cars ahead of us that haven't pit yet. Busch real wide off turn 2 that time. Try to catch some draft off Biffle. The high side down the back straightaway. I'm going to stay out one more time. Newman is pitting, but Harvick is not. So Harvick will lead this lap at the line. Dave Blaney has not led yet, lap 39. We will be pitting this time. It looks like everybody's on a 3-stop strategy, so I thought it was going to be 2. Yeah, I was thinking this whole time leading up to the start of this race it was going to be a 2-stopper. It looks like it's going to be 3 for the entire field. And he's going to try to catch a little bit of draft off of the 5 of Kyle Busch. So this will be a 4-tire stop coming up. Don't spin out. Don't spin out. Oh, get in the pits. Oh, that was terrible. Oh, got destroyed by Denny Hamlin. And now we get a caution. Now we get a caution on pit road. How did that happen? Did J.J. Yaley run into the barrels? I'm confused. I don't know. We didn't need that. And the yellow came out, so I couldn't pit there. Looks like I'm out of fuel under caution. Gonna be able to get to pit road at least. I think he blasted me into the barrels, did he not? That car did not want to grip up when I was coming into the pits. I didn't have an issue. I didn't have an issue trying to pit in practice under green flag conditions. I don't know what the problem was there. Maybe the tires are way older than what I had to deal with in practice at the end of a run. I mean, that's the only thing I could think of. Lost a lot of time on pit road. I mean, I don't know where we're going to be after this caution. We should still be on the lead lap, but yeah, we definitely lost track position, though. Oh, my gosh. 40th. Am I a lap down? Hold up. Oh, we're a lap down? How? There must... I'm confused at how we lost a lap. Well, I really don't know how that happened. Now we got to get into the free pass position. Oh boy, we got to check up. Big checkup. I had to lift. I had to lift. I couldn't stay in the gas or I would have hooked Hamlin trying to get down to the bottom. Oh, well, we got a yellow. Oh, trouble! Trouble! Turns 1 and 2, one car around. I felt like the caution came out before the spin, did it not? I saw the yellow, I didn't see anything, and then all of a sudden, Scott Riggs goes sliding sideways into the wall. I don't think I was in the free pass position, unfortunately. I'm definitely going to pit. I'm definitely pitting whether I'm in the free pass position or not, because the window may be open now to make it on one more stop. I don't know where this puts us entirely here, but man, I don't know how we went a lap down, but we went a lap down. And I might be in the free pass position, but we don't know that for sure. I don't know how many cars are a lap down. It seems like about half the field is a lap. But yeah, I don't know for sure. Well, I mean, the good news is we didn't really damage the car with that first yellow. Looks like there's quite a few cars a lap down. Obviously, we're one of them. We didn't even have a full lap of tires underneath us there. Green flag back in the air. There's quite a few cars we could race for position still, but it's going to take a long time to try to get into that free pass spot, depending on how yellows might play the rest of the way. That was our second caution, back-to-back yellows in this one, as the green flag is back in the air at California. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Hang on to it. Let's just get up to speed. My goodness. Oh, my gosh. I think we can make this thing on one more stop. We could potentially win the race this way. But we need this race to stay green the rest of the way. I got lucky. We got that second yellow right after. Thank you, Scott Riggs, for spinning out. He made contact with the car above him, and then the car slipped out from underneath him. Dale Jr. leads. We got David Stremme blowing a motor right in front of us. He's trying to get down to the apron. And he does. Out of the way. That was a spot. Stremme was a lap down. If we luck into a win through all this, that would be absolutely insane. I'll take it. Retribution from Daytona. I know it ain't the Daytona 500, but anything will do at this point. I mean, we know we have top 10 speed. I was running as high as 6th at one point on speed earlier, so we've got top 10 speed. I don't have race winning speed. I'm hoping that of the cars that are a lap down, the first yellow in the middle of green flag pit stop, it's hard to tell who's a lap down and who isn't, but if we're faster than everybody that is a lap down, there's a chance we could still get back in the free pass position at the very least, and then try to catch another timely yellow. We're up to 29th. It's hard telling how many more cars we have to pass to get to that spot. We'll never be 100% sure. He's got a big run. Laney's moving. Fastest lap of the day that last time by at the line. 38.248. Oh boy. Quite a bit of contact with Tony Stewart. Four wide. Nearly. Flatline the corner. Didn't stick that time. A little contact with Kyle Busch. Not trying to right rear myself. Right back to where we qualified, 25th. So Kurt Busch is leading the race. Dale Jr. was leading initially on the restart. We're almost halfway already. Again, 2 cautions in this one. The last caution right on the edge of the fuel window to try to make this race on after pitting under that last yellow one more time. Nobody else pit. Dave Blaney did. So the hope here for Dave Blaney is he can make it on fuel because he's a lap down. And if we do get a yellow, you got to hope you can at least get into the free pass position, which is tough to tell how many more cars we'd have to pass for that to be the case. Because we don't know exactly how many are on the lead lap. I mean, we could be in the free pass position right now, but we wouldn't know that unless a caution came out and I'd find out if I get my lap back or not. There's a pass on Truex. And then we got the 6 and the 96 in front of us. We were faster than both of those guys earlier. So I'm not sure if they're a lap down or not. Again, the first yellow was in the middle of green flag stops, and we had a caution immediately on the restart with Scott Riggs pitting. So ideally, to even have a chance of making it to the end, we have to go to 40 to go, which would be lap 85. So if we can make it to lap 85 before our next pit stop, then the possibility is there. But we also don't know with the way the 2 cautions that came out, if everybody else can make it without having to pit that extra time with the 2 yellows. So who knows? Maybe they were able to save it up under the caution flag and we pitted for no reason. I only really gave up a couple positions doing it, so there's probably more incentive for us to pit at that point anyway. Martin blocking Reigns, Reigns blocking Blaney. To get by the 96 there. Well, that's not good. The situation that you're in, so hopefully everything's gonna be all right. Oh boy. Definitely not ordinary to have a few cop cars blowing by in an area where you're not used to seeing any. Really hope none of these cars up here are a lap down. I guess fresher tires with the acceleration of the fuel window, this being a 50% race, means that much more because we weren't this quick before that last pit stop. I mean, I don't even know. We really only have a couple lap fresher tires in some of the cars who pitted before the first yellow. A lot of the apron there, that was way too aggressive. And they're biting me anyway. Biffle's going to get back by. Mayfield to the outside. Here comes Earnhardt. Try to block him off as much as we can. Johnson and Kurt Busch are door-to-door for the lead. Golly, I'm forcing the issue way too hard. Newman working his way by Johnson for second. Yeah, we should be the first car one lap down in this predicament right now. And 25th, so if we were to get a third yellow, Blaney would be the free pass car. It's by Biffle cleanly that time. Got Penske running 1-2 at the front of the field. Busch leading, Ryan Newman in second. Blaney underneath Jimmy Johnson and Ryan Newman. Staying in the draft behind Kurt Busch. It looks like Blaney's going to clear them both. Got to make it 20 more laps. Fastest lap of the day, by the way. 38.095 that last time by for Blaney. I mean, we're pacing well enough to make it on fuel. The next question is can they make it? Were those two cautions just enough yellows for the entire rest of the field to be able to make this race on one more stop as well? And if that's the case, then obviously Dave Blaney is not in the best situation to try to get the win. Blaney's close. So I'd imagine... See here, Kurt Busch side drafting right back by the 22. Blaney would like to unlap himself ideally here. At least I would be at the tail end of the longest line with the caution. I mean, granted, the lap cars are on the inside of the lead lap car, so I don't think it'd matter much. Busch not giving Blaney a lot of room there. Might just have to save some gas in the draft behind Kurt Busch at this point, honestly. That'd be the wisest thing to do. I know we got to get back on the lead lap, but got to be able to make it on field to the end first to have a chance to win. I mean, we're definitely going to be pitting at lap 85. Hopefully. I mean, obviously, I hope we can push that far. I'm going to push it that far regardless. Nobody else came to pit road that last caution like us. So we definitely have the most fuel in it, you would think. Any lap, we start to see other cars pit. Have to wait and see how it rolls. Definitely going to be a 4-tire stop. Gotta hope I get a better pit road entry than what I did the first time. That was terrible. I still have not seen Elliott Sadler this whole race, really. I wonder if he blew a motor early. There's one car that blew an engine during this current green flag run. Just lasted almost 30 laps. Went 39 laps caution free to start the race. I mean, if we could somehow make it to lap 86, that would be awesome, but that'd be pushing it a little too far. Because if I run out of gas, I'm going to lose time to a lot of cars if everybody's able to make it that far. But even in a 50% race, we know 100% races here, if it somehow went caution-free, it'd be a fuel mileage race. So here today we've had 2 cautions in a 50% race, and it has now made it a fuel mileage race, even though it wasn't looking like a fuel mileage race out of the get-go. It looked like it was going to be a standard 3-stop race, which we've taken 2 of our 3 stops already. We just short pitted during the last caution, hoping that the window was extended just enough for us to be able to make it. And again, lap 85 is kind of that target point. We went 39 laps on fuel at the start of the day. So if we can get to within 40, at least there's a chance there. And we're just saving gas right now, as much as we can, behind Kurt Busch, in line, in the draft. Not pushing 100%, not looking to get this lap back. And just saving as much as possible in case this race stays green to the finish. If we get a caution, at least Dave Blaney's in the free pass position. He can get back on the lead lap. I mentioned on the thumbnail that we're probably going to have to strategize to try to get a good finish in this one. That's definitely the case. Qualified 25th, currently 25th. And we've got cars pitting well short of lap 85, might I add. So we still got 50 laps to go in the race. 49 technically, because Blaney's a lap down. There were cars already coming off of pit road that last time by, so obviously we have to pace well enough also that everybody else pits. Because we are a lap down, we do have to beat everybody else that hits pit road. It's no guarantee that we'll cycle ahead of everyone. Obviously, we're saving behind Kurt Busch. So as of right now, he's really the only one we have to look at as, okay, can we cycle in front of him? This is nerve-wracking. More nerve-wracking than Daytona. This, I feel like, is a lot more out of my control. Really trying not to mess this up. I mean, if a caution comes out, it wasn't meant to be, but I mean, asking this race to go caution-free for the final 60-something odd laps from the, well, more than that. I mean, the last restart was barely under 80 laps to go. It's not impossible, though. Obviously, we're kind of running Kurt Busch hard, staying behind him, so you would think he's definitely not going to make it to lap 85. There's still 19 cars on the lead lap. Some of them coming onto pit road right now. Because they're a lap ahead of us, it'd technically be lap 80 for them. So they're also trying to get to that lap 85 mark, or as close to it as possible, to see if they can make it to the finish. Kurt Busch might be pitting this time. It'll be lap 80 coming to lap 81 this time by. Dave Blaney's going to lose his drafting partner for at least a few laps. Well, now we just got to hope we saved enough to at least get to the end of this run. Kurt Busch is in. Blaney cycled up to 13th. And we'll also have to see if Blaney can cycle out ahead of Kurt Busch as well. He's going to be the closest car to him. Casey Kane in the number 9. Now leading. And Blaney hasn't led this whole race too, so once it cycles through, he'll get 5 bonus points. And he'll lead a lap in at least these first 2 races of the season. 70 laps led at Daytona in the 500, second most in the race. There's Newman, there's Kurt. Blaney definitely going to cycle ahead of Kurt Busch. There's still other cars on the racetrack. Casey Kane again leads. He's on lap 82 currently. Kurt on those fresher tires probably going to run us down too. He already had a faster car than us to begin with. We're keeping up with him because we were on fresher tires at the time. Only 2 lead lap cars pitted at last time by. Casey Kane's coming in right now at lap 83. So Casey Kane's looking to be 2 laps short. Jamie McMurray, though, still out on the track. Somebody's going to win this race that we weren't expecting could be in contention for the win before the race started. It could be me, based off this strategy right now. I mean, clearly not the only ones playing this game. Lenny up to second, so Jamie McMurray made it to lap 84. And he is pitting this time, it looks like. So McMurray made it to lap 84. Dave Blaney is still on the racetrack. Definitely can't speed on pit road because we're not that far ahead of Kurt Busch. Blaney made it 39 laps on the opening run to begin this race today. We're at lap 84 right now. It's as far as McMurray made it. We're definitely going to be able to go at least one more after this. And next time by at the start-finish line will be the first lap led for Dave Blaney in this race. Kurt's not going to catch him before that. Maybe the following lap, but not this lap, at the very least. There you go, 5 bonus points. The pressure's on for us not to be able to save either. Gonna try to go one more lap after this. Really stretching it out right now. But the plan is to go one more lap. Blaney gonna try to get the lap 86. It needs to have a clean pit road entry as well. Kurt Busch still closing in from behind. Blaney will lead a second lap of the race this time by. Can he make it 2 more miles? And then he's going to have to go 39 laps on the final run once again. Washes up the hill a little bit into turn 1. Got to make it all the way back around. It can't save either. Kurt Busch is right there. He's got to keep Kurt behind him. Into turns 3 and 4. Busch going to be looking to the outside. But Blaney going to be pitting this time anyway. Oh, don't give up the bottom. And Blaney is going to be coming in. Don't speed. There we go. Didn't speed. 4 tires. We ran out at the perfect spot. Now we got to go 39 laps to the checker. That was perfect. I mean, I couldn't have had a more perfect fuel run there. Oh, boy. One more of those. We had to go exactly that many laps, too. So the problem is, based off of that calculation, we're going to run out of gas in the middle of turns 3 and 4 on the final lap. Got to stay on the lead lap, too, in case we get a caution. Well, we're definitely not going to stay on the lead lap. All right, well, we know 25th is the first car 1 lap down. So Dave Blaney is the first car 1 lap down. As much as Blaney needs to save, he needs to pick time up first back to Kurt Busch. Because it's not going to be for the win if Kurt Busch cycles out of the pit still ahead of the 22. That's the disadvantage of being a lap down. The advantage right now for Dave Blaney, he's got the freshest tires in the field. Going to be aggressive getting by Jimmy Johnson there. The push early in the run, saving the draft later. .052, fastest lap of the race that last time for the 22 car. .988 that last lap, fastest of the race. Blistering. If we win this race, we're going to be giving Scott Riggs a big old hug after this one. His caution at whatever lap that was when his caution came out allowed us to open this fuel window from a lap down to potentially win this race on fuel mileage. And we could have had other cars pit, but nobody else pitted. So, I mean, this is where we're sitting right now. And if it wasn't for Scott Riggs bringing out that yellow, we would definitely not be in this. All right, here we go. 33 laps remain in the Auto Club 250. Pulling away from Dale Jr. Jr. staying in the draft behind Dave Blaney. Blaney would like to get closer to Kurt Busch, ideally. That just hasn't happened yet. Hey, we kind of passed Earnhardt and Johnson back there. I would have thought we were just going to kind of pull away from him too on these fresher tires, but there's not that much speed down the straightaways here in the 22. Blaney going wide. Earnhardt's going to get back underneath the 22 car off turn 4 here. I got to go back to saving again. I mean, I just got to hope that I can cycle out ahead of Kurt Busch. At this point, we've got to save gas while we can. So once everybody else pits, I'm not going to be able to save anymore. And obviously, we got to secure a good point stay. Even if I don't win and Kurt cycles out ahead of me and whoever's in second right now cycles out ahead of me, at least it's a third place finish, assuming we get out ahead of Dale Jr. too. It's a third to fourth place finish if we make it on fuel. If we don't make it, we're going to end up 25th where we're running, so if not worse. We finished 25th in the Daytona 500, so we can't afford to do that 2 races in a row out of the gate here. Season-long points format, at least to the 26 race mark at the end of the regular season, and the top 10 make the chase on points alone. So we need points. And I got the bonus points for at least leading, you know, in the middle of the race at the very least. So if I don't lead late, I was able to lead 2 laps. So we got our 5 bonus points. It's also what this strategy helped me out for there, in case I don't win. Kurt Busch, race leader, had to deal with 2 lap cars. He passed 1 already. Get to see who the second place car is up here. We know Dale Jr.'s in third. Kurt Busch leads. Not sure on exactly who's in second. Jimmy Johnson was in fourth back behind us. We got 2 lap cars. I think the next car ahead of us is the second place car and then the 2 lappers. One lap car going wide. Looks like it might be Paul Menard in the 15. Lanny stays behind Dale Jr. Jr. to the inside of Menard. Blaney underneath both of them. got by Earnhardt. Trying to see if he's close enough to get a draft off of the 16 here of Greg Biffle. It's definitely close. Move to that next lead lap car. Biffle in second. Oh, yeah. Poland Jr. now. So 25 laps to go at the start-finish line. 24, really, for the race leader, Kurt Busch. You gotta think, though, too, Jamie McMurray was also close on fuel. He only pitted 2 laps before Dave Blaney did. You know, Biffle might be in third, and this next car ahead of us could be a lead lap car, too. Which means Dale Jr. would be in fourth. I mean, the draft is allowing them to catch the cars up ahead, but it's also saving draft, at least for Blaney being the trail car. Not as much for Earnhardt or Biffle in this situation. Kurt Busch on that last stint for the pit stops. And he right there with Greg Biffle. Biffle all over the back of Ryan Newman. Battle for second going on. Biffle going low off turn 2. And he's still working with the 16. Both cars clear the 12 of Newman. So now Biffle's into second for real. Splits the Penske duo at the front of the field up. Biffle on the move. And Blaney's definitely going to be able to get up to Kurt Busch before the end of this run. So great job using the draft to his advantage. Down these long straightaways when the horsepower is lacking under the hood of this Bill Davis Racing Dodge. Just don't have the equipment. We got C-tier equipment. $19 laps left for Kurt Busch. 20 for Dave Blaney as Blaney just hit the line. There's a chance Greg Biffle might be able to go up here and take the lead away from Kurt Busch. Looking low all the way down the backstretch into turn 3. Kurt with a block as the former teammates battle for the lead with less than 20 laps to go in Fontana. Biffle again going low. Oh boy. Coming to 19 to go. Fastest lap of the race, 37.855 for Dave Blaney as he drafts with Greg Biffle all the way down the front stretch there. Now they're clear. Can Dave Blaney make it on fuel to the end of this race? They were just about to get to 19 to go when he hit halfway out of gas. And there might be more lap traffic to come by before the finish of this race as well. Really hoping the 16 can start to drive away from the 2. I don't want multiple cars trying to run me down in the final couple laps of the race while I'm trying to make it on fumes. And we're a lap down right now, but luckily the way the second caution of the race fell, right at the edge of the fuel window where we pitted at that time, it was a 3-stop race coming in, and I knew we were going to be close if we pitted during that last caution. We did. Nobody else pitted. So now it's a fuel mileage race with the way drivers are trying to save with the 2 cautions we had, and we're trying to save, trying to make it by pitting during the most recent yellow when no one else did. Plenty of drivers are going to be well short on gas. Some are going to be very tight. You would think Dave Blaney would be the closest, but could be more that could make it too. Jamie McMurray was the next closest to trying to make it, outside of course, our driver Dave Blaney. Can we pull up the upset in the second race of the season and win it on fuel mileage? Try to earn some of those points back after a 25th place finish in the Daytona 500. So we can push to try to make the chase. Very fortunate this is a 50% race too, because for this to work out, I'm going to be not even halfway. Obviously halfway in a full race here would be the end of this one. So being where we're at right now, obviously this being a shorter race is definitely, I'd say, worked in our favor as well. To put a full race together in this one, you really only got to put a half a race together. If that makes any sense. Just drafting behind Biffle, just trying to save as much as we can. He's probably going to be the driver that's going to try to run us down late for the win. And also have to hope that we just don't get arrow loose from these lap cars that we're working past as well. Because this car definitely feels looser this run than it did the last run, and I'm not sure why. Because I didn't make any adjustments. I haven't made any adjustments to the 3 stops we did make in this one. It'll be 12 laps to go this time by for Greg Biffle. His lap car's definitely not going to be quick enough to draft behind, so we're just going to continue to stay behind the 16. These lappers seem to be moving out of the way. One down to the bottom, wasn't intentionally going to go for that. We have had some cars pit because we're up to 21st now. We were 25th. In an instance we get a caution, we're going to get the free pass, so we're going to have to pit anyway. Even if a caution came out after Biffle pits, if he pits before some of the other lead lap cars, I think I'm still pitting. Because there's no chance I'm going to be able to hold on older tires to the end of this race. Like, I already don't have a top 5 car as it is. I have a top 10 car, but I don't have a top 5 car. We're on a tire advantage, which is the only reason I'm able to keep up with Biffle in the draft right now. Is the fresher tires. I still don't think I can go up here and pass him necessarily, but if I pass him, I don't think I could stay in front of him. Blaney's still trying to save. Crazy. I mean, I didn't know what the fuel was going to look like with this being a 50% race coming in. I thought it was going to be a 2-stopper. It was going to be a fuel mileage race there. Well, then it was guaranteed 3-stopper, but the way the caution's laid out now, it is a fuel mileage race, but it's 3 instead of 2. So it's kind of what I thought it was going to be coming in, but also I didn't think I was going to be a lap down in that situation. Go figure, we're in a Bill Davis Racing Dodge. We're not in a Roush Fenway Ford like we were last season. So if we can get a good finish like this, bounce back from Daytona, that'd be huge. And obviously if we can get a win, that'd be awesome. Because they're going to be tough to come by all year. 10 to go for yours truly, Dave Blaney. Greg Biffle out on the racetrack obviously right now still. So 9 to go overall in the race with the leader right in front of us. 144 car's the rival. Going to have to be careful passing him. They try to take a swing at us. It looks like Greg Biffle may be pitting this time. Really hoping that 144 doesn't hit us. He did not. Biffle pits. Greg Biffle has just pit. 8 to go. 9 to go, excuse me, for us. Ryan Newman is now the leader. Still got to be able to cycle around Biffle. Biffle's going to be on fresh tires for like 8 laps. That's a lot on this 2-mile oval, especially with the accelerated fuel window also. As you have to put into play that 8 laps is going to feel like more than 8 lap pressure tires. And now we lost our drafting partner a lot earlier in the run than what I was originally expecting. Well, I would assume I cycled ahead of Biffle. Yeah, I see him back there, I think. Tough to tell for sure. I think there's like 3 lap cars between us. Got some draft down the back straightaway on Kyle Petty till he pits. We're up to 9th already. Petty has a pit. Yeah, we should be quicker than him. I don't know how much more I want to push the pace there, old crew chief. Ryan Newman get a pit from the lead now. 6 laps to go for Dave Blaney around this 2-mile oval. He's up to 5th. And Newman's on pit road currently. Again, a fuel mileage race here in Fontana where Dave Blaney is trying to outsmart the field. He was the only one to pit during the second yellow of the race with just less than 80 to go at the time. Trying to stretch this race. Well, the yellow actually flew at lap 43. I think we would have restarted. We were lapped down. Well, it was lap 43 for us, so technically it was lap 44 when the caution waived entirely. 5 to go for Dave Blaney. McMurray leads. He's the only other car on the racetrack other than the 22 that has not hit pit road. Now, granted, Blaney, again, already pitted 3 times. We just pitted at the short part of the run. McMurray stays out at least one more. 4 laps to go. Jamie McMurray out in front. Now, McMurray pitted 2 laps before Blaney. The last time the 26 hit pit road. Blaney on these older tires just trying to hang on in front of Biffle. Still don't know exactly where that 16 car is, but he's got to be running us down. Car's getting looser the older the tires get. There's really no saving now. We just got to hope because I don't know where that 16 car's at. McMurray stays out again. 3 to go for Jamie McMurray. 6 more miles. Can McMurray make it and pull off the upset? Biffle just passed the last lap car between himself and the 22 off turn 4 that time. Yeah, I mean, I can't save. If I start saving, Biffle's going to pass me. And McMurray's going to pit from the lead off turn 4. He's going to be 2 laps short on gas. McMurray is 2 laps short. Dave Blaney will take the lead this time by. And now he's got to hope he can make it 4 extra miles. I mean, McMurray pitted 2 laps before us the last time. We ran out in the middle of 3 and 4 coming to pit road. It didn't slow us down any. It was at our descending point in the corner anyway. Now can Dave Blaney make it the entire way around this track 2 more times? He leads now. Tough to tell how far ahead of Biffle he is. I don't think Biffle's going to catch us unless we sputter. I think Blaney's got enough of a gap here. We're going to lead just 4 laps in this race. On fuel. If we can make it to the end. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go at Fontana. It's a 1.8 second lead for Dave Blaney. There is a gap over Greg Biffle in second. That fuel tank is low for this 22. He was only able to make it 39 laps. He pitted right with 40 to go, so he had to go 39 laps to the finish. Gotta make it off turn 4. He's gonna. On fumes, Dave Blaney wins in Fontana. Let's go. Yeah, work smarter, not harder, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how much fuel we have in it for the burnout, but Dave Blaney is a winner in the NASCAR Cup Series. His first career win comes at the California Speedway on fuel mileage. Redemption from wrecking in the big one on the final lap while leading in the Daytona 500. We might not win another race all season, so I'll take this. Oh my gosh. That was a sweater down the stretch. I had a lot of fuel in it for the burnout. I thought you could run out of gas. I thought you could run out of gas in the burnout on this game, but maybe not. I'm surprised I had as much gas in it for the burnout as I did. Maybe you can't run out in this game. I know in Thunder 04 you can. Because you can also blow an engine in that game in Victory Celebration, but I don't think you can do that here. Wow. Let's go. First career win. Well, that's not how we qualify for the playoff series. That would be modern day. We do have a chase here, but it's top 10 in points. So we still need to get consistent finishes. We led 4 laps and still won. Started 25th. We ran there most of the day, a lap down. But you know what? We outsmarted the field there. They all could have pit during the second yellow. They didn't do it. We were the only ones that did it thinking, hey, maybe there's a chance. And there was. I mean, for one, we had to go green the rest of the way, and we did. One caution came out, everybody would have had to pit, and that would have screwed our strategy over. We would have at least got back on the lead lap because we were the first car a lap down, but our chances of winning definitely would have been over. I didn't have a top 5 car today. We ran 6th at one point real early in the race on speed until we got a lap down with the way the first caution came out. Still don't even know how I lost the lap, but it doesn't matter. Still won. 155.39 mile per hour average race speed. 1 hour 36 minutes 31 seconds total time in the race. 1.6 second margin of victory. 32 lead changes. 2 cautions. Yeah, I'll take it. 4 laps led in the win for Dave Blaney. Greg Biffle finishes second. He led 9 laps. Kurt Busch led the most, I believe, with 47 laps led. Yep, he finished third. Ryan Newman fourth, and Dale Jr. rounds out the top 5 and 5th. Dale Jarrett 6th, Jimmy Johnson 7th, Tony Raines 8th, Mark Martin 9th, and Jeff Green rounds out the top 10. And he led a lap also. I thought Tony Raines led earlier. I guess not. Maybe he took the lead but didn't lead at the line then. And obviously we don't have any teammates, so we don't have to look there. 23 cars finished on the lead lap. And as far as DNFs go, David Stremme was the only driver that blew an engine today, lap 51. And we saw that happen right in front of us not long after that second caution. Let's go. Look at that. Dave Blaney in victory lane for the first time in his NASCAR Cup Series career. And it might be the only time, but we did it. Huge upset. Yep. Game's muted. All good. Let's go. Now we got to win a 100% race. That's going to be a lot harder. Our next race at Las Vegas will be the full 400 miles, 267 laps. Our next 50% race will be at Atlanta in race 4. I'm doing it for the 500-mile race tracks that we go to more than once. That's going to be the 50% races. So California, Atlanta, Pocono. And there's another track in there I will end up doing. Texas. That's right. Those were going to be the 4 50% races. The first one at each of those tracks. So Kurt Busch is the points leader, 2 races in. And we're in 7th. Can breathe a little easier. Obviously, the points were going to be tight, from top to bottom through the field, only 2 races in anyway, but we were 24th. 5 bonus points in each race, obviously, is huge too. That's, 10 bonus points we've occurred already this season, which, puts us 1 spot up higher in points. Got to be top 10 at the end of 26 races. That's our goal here. So we're in now, which means we can just kind of hopefully click off consistent finishes because we're not going to have race-winning speed a lot and kind of go from there. Next race will be Friday night. We'll take tomorrow night off. So Friday night, we will be back 6 p.m. Eastern. Las Vegas will be the full race, 400 miles, 267 laps, 1.5 miles for the first time. The draft was a great equalizer here, and I had probably back half top 10 speed, but we got the win on strategy. It's going to be a lot harder to strategize ourselves to a win at Vegas. I feel like that race could be pretty straightforward on pit stops. So we're going to need speed, and I don't think we're going to have it. So we'll hope for the best. Got to stay out of trouble. Appreciate it, everybody. Have a good rest of your night. Enjoy the day off, I guess, with the channel tomorrow, and I will see you guys back and better than ever again Friday night.